On the count of three, Phyllis Wheatley. 1, 2, 3.
Well, good morning again. Good morning. I am Patricia Plummer. I'm the president of the board of directors for Phyllis Wheatley YWCA. If you were here with us in November of 2015, I will say to you, welcome back. This is our brand new building. We love it. I hope you do too. If this is your first time at Phyllis Wheatley, welcome to Phyllis Wheatley YWCA. After the wall breaking in 2015, we began our construction. There was a lot going on. It was a very busy time in this building. We were very fortunate that we were able to allow the ladies to stay in the building while the development was going on. But that came with a few hiccups. But we have a very competent executive director who is Paulette Holloway, and she's a social worker. She is a social worker by profession, so she keeps everybody calm. There's something about her voice. If the ladies got worked up, she could bring them down. And we had the expertise of our partner, Dante's partners, and their development team, and they allowed the ladies to stay here, and we were able to do the construction with everybody right in place. And now we have a building that the board is proud of, our staff is proud of, and it's a wonderful place that the ladies can call home. And that's a wonderful thing for us. Also in 2015, the Phyllis Wheatley YWCA Board of Directors entered into a partnership with Dante's partners. So I think it's been a good partnership in those years. We met Dante's in 2012, and he helped us write. Well, they wrote the proposal for us in 2013 for some dollars, and then in 2015 we decided, well, we're going to take this to the next level. So we entered into a joint venture with Dante's partners, Phyllis Wheatley Residential LLC, this building, and it has been a good experience, a win-win situation, I would say, Bua. If I'm wrong, correct me. But I think it's been, the board of directors has learned more than we ever wanted to know about housing and affordable housing in Washington, D.C. But it's what we needed to know because we've been in housing since 1905. So we need to know, what we do. But I think we've also taught Dante's a few things, because what we also do quite well is we help women in need. And so they learned that from us. So even though we don't always agree on everything, I tell Bua all the time, we have different agenda, different missions, but we have one mission when it comes to our partnership, and that is to provide affordable housing to women in need. And we don't falter from that mission, correct?
Correct.
So yes. So next I'm going to let my partner, come up and say a few words about the lovely Phyllis Wheatley YWCA and the board that he loves working with so much. And we really try not to get on his nerves too badly, but I know it's been a little bumpy, but for the most part it's been okay. It's been okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, Ms. Plummer. And thanks to everyone again for coming to commemorate the official opening of our building. You're going to hear from everyone who played a major part to make this deal happen. So please be relaxed and be prepared for a very long day. So that said, I can't thank everyone enough for putting up with us over the last 4.5 years. That includes our very dedicated team at Dante's Partners and DPM, as well as my lovely wife and family and my dad, who flew all the way from Nigeria again to see this opening. He was here for the wall breaking, and it's good to know that I come back and show him the finished product. Also, big shout out to our contractors, Hamo, and our architects, Manna Feinstein and Kia Weatherspoon, who both put the finishing touches to this lovely building. I especially want to thank our financing partners who scratched their heads each time this deal was brought up. Note that there is nothing atypical about this project. So you can imagine when everyone kept asking, is there a reason why it needs to be financed this way? And we kept saying yes, because we need to preserve housing for all 84 individuals whose income is less than 80%, less than 30% of the area median income. 100% of those living here are at the lowest of low of income. You know, of late, I've actually been in a slump because deals that we're currently working on comes nothing close to this transaction with regards to complexity. This redevelopment from financing, construction, and management perspective is arguably the most complicated transaction I've ever worked on. The longest also, considering that we were introduced in 2012. However, despite the thought of preserving a 100-year-old institution located in historic Shaw on a very prominent corner, cultivating 9 sources of financing, coordinating with 5 district government agencies, 5, DHCD, DHCHA, DBH, DHS, and DDOE. And yes, I had to list all 5 because if I had to deal with them, you have to hear them. Which means, obviously, a lot in legal fees, and more importantly, caring for a population that, until now, we have never housed before. It was and still is the most gratifying project I've ever worked on for me and my company. It was all made possible by the trust and support given by us by our nonprofit partner, Phyllis Wheatley, Young Women's Christian Association, Inc., who entertained every single crazy ideas of ours. Real challenge for me going forward is finding and modeling our partners after the Phyllis Wheatley partner. Their vision and commitment to continue to serve those less fortunate than us, as well as remain in Shaw, is what got us through the last 5 years of our partnership, and I'm sure will get us through the next 15. When this opportunity came up to preserve and turn around the building, I so desperately wanted to do the right thing by the Y. And I would have easily done it for free, but I was reminded by my staff and family that I have salary to pay. So prior to engaging, we had heard stories of how difficult it was to work with nonprofits, as well as the fact that they can be indecisive. And I can assure you that was not the case. In fact, it was the exact opposite. Not only were they a pleasure to work for, they also demanded accountability and required that we use this transaction to extend opportunities, not just to black and brown firms in the community, but also the opportunities that I provide at my firm. And I'm happy to say that we did just that along the way over the last 4.5 years. In closing, I had the opportunity to take my father to the National Museum of African American History and Culture yesterday. And while taking in so much history, I came across the following quote. In every human breast, God has implanted a principle which we call love of freedom. It is impatient of oppression and pants for deliverance. And that author of that quote is Phyllis Wheatley in 1774. In so many ways, this project signifies that freedom and justification to continue to provide good quality housing to people of modest means. And to help us in ensuring we continue to stay focused on that mission is our mayor, who has made affordable housing a hallmark of her administration. And not to steal her thunder, but I'm happy to say that for the past 3 years, she and her team have invested over $100 million annually, more per capita than any other city in the country. With that, ladies and gentlemen, my esteemed pleasure to introduce you to the mayor of our great city, Mayor Bowser.
Well, good morning, everybody. I am just so delighted to be here. Let me thank the members of the board of the Phyllis Wheatley YWCA, and thank you, Ms. Plummer, for your fantastic leadership and vision and your willingness to think differently about how this great place at this most prominent corner would be preserved to serve women in need for years and years to come. Let's hear it for the board. We know it's not easy. Affordable housing projects are complicated, require a lot of creativity and persistence. They take a long time, but they're always worth it in the end. They're always worth it. Bua is right. I want to thank Dante's Partners, who's really carved out a special place in the district for preserving affordable housing and making it no different than any other housing that we're producing in the city. And that's what I've already see when I walk into this community room. So thank you, Dante's Partners. And to all the public officials who have been involved, Councilmember Allen, my director for DHCD, Polly Donaldson, to everybody who's helped with construction and financing and architecture and community planning and engagement with the community. It takes all of those people to make projects like these happen. So give yourselves a round of applause. And let me just say how proud I am that we not only maintain a focus on affordable housing, but we're actually getting those units out the door. But it's one thing for us to talk about $100 million, even though it's twice as much as what we have been as a city contributing, and we've been able to do it each and every year. I think most people don't realize, what that is. You can't see $100 million. You can't see the 5,000 units. But for us, just think about the families that we've saved from being displaced to other parts of the region. And when we talk about affordable housing, that's what we're talking about. People who we are preserving units for, and but for the intervention of innovative nonprofit thinkers, government officials, those people wouldn't be able to live here. They just wouldn't. Or they may be on the street. Worse yet, when we know when people have safe housing, any other issue that they're having in their life, it could be a health issue, it could be an addiction issue, it could be that their children aren't making it in school. When they have safe and stable housing, they can take care of all those other issues. And that's what I wake up focused on each and every day. How do we continue to be a city that is prosperous and growing and dynamic, fiscally healthy, while at the same time making sure more Washingtonians can find their place in Washington and thrive. That's what we're here for. And this is exactly what this project represents. So I wanted to be here. I was here for the wall breaking. It still remains one of my favorite events. And I wanted to be here to see just what you've been able to accomplish. And when I look at the finishes just here, I know it's something special. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, for your support. It is great when you have a council member whose vision for his ward is an inclusive one. And that's what my interaction has been with Councilmember Charles Allen over the last several years here in the District of Columbia. And frankly, his support is one that we cherish. So we're very, very happy to have him here to help usher in this new day for us here at Phyllis Wheatley. Ladies and gentlemen, Councilmember Charles Allen.
Thank you, Bua. I will try to be brief, and just like the mayor, I apologize in advance because I have to leave. We have a memorial service taking place for former Ward 1 Councilor Jim Graham that's starting shortly at the Wilson Building. But I absolutely wanted to be here. And I'll say this was one of my favorite events, too, just like the mayor said, except I didn't get a sledgehammer. We had a hammer 18 months ago, but I still thought I'd bring it in case there's any little bit of finishing work that's needed. I'm ready to go. But this was an event that absolutely, I'll say I had a little sledgehammer envy. She did a great job. But I'll say, the mayor, she talked about this a little bit, but in almost every conversation I have with the mayor, it almost always comes back around to where she wants to talk about affordable housing. It is something that I know she makes a priority, her administration makes a priority, the partners we work with make a priority. And that's because it's incredibly important for our city. I know, years ago, we were working with a woman in a different part of Ward 6 where we were having a real struggle to find housing. She was on the streets. She was battling a lot of different things. And it was this facility. It was right here at the Phyllis Wheatley that helped make sure that we were able to get her into housing, keep a roof over her head, and help stabilize her. And it meant the world to her as it did for us. But that's what you guys do day in and day out. So to the board and to the leadership, thank you. This is such a beautiful space already. I can see, again, just like the mayor talked about, the quality that's here. It makes a big difference because we want every resident, I don't care where you are, I want you to have pride and respect and dignity in where you're staying, and that's what you're committed to as well. And really proud to be able to do this. I also want to give a little shout out to my ANC commissioner here, Alex Padro. Commissioner Padro is also somebody who looks after this neighborhood on the ANC level, but also you were here as well for the groundbreaking, or what are we called it, the wall breaking. And is somebody who really focuses on these exact same issues here too. So I think kind of from top to bottom, this is the type of celebration that we absolutely love. But I just get to be here to help celebrate. You guys do all the hard work. So thank you all so much. Thank you to all the partners that help make it happen. I'm sure that events like this, you have a long list of the banks and the financing and all of that, but it's a lot of sweat that goes into this, but it is making a tangible difference in people's lives, and it will for a long time to come. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. For some reason or another, I'm really attracted to Shaw, and a big part of that is the fact that I am now embarking on my 4th deal in this very neighborhood, and with this one being the first, obviously. A big reason for that is because I get to work with Commissioner Alex Padro day in, day out. Commissioner Padro, please share with everyone why Shaw is such a great place to be in, and your history, your particular history with this building. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Alex Padro.
Thank you, Boo, and good morning to everyone. Welcome back to Shaw. Greetings from ANC 6E, but most especially, welcome back to the ladies of the Phyllis Wheatley Y, my friends and constituents for the past 17 years. It's been my pleasure to represent you and to fight alongside you and fight for you when you've had challenges. This is a fantastic institution in our neighborhood that has now been serving our city and our community for over a century. Obviously, there's been wonderful leadership here. From the beginning, from when the Book Lovers Club was the initiator of the project. They saw a need to find and provide safe housing for ladies that were coming from across the country. They were arriving at Union Station, and they were being preyed upon by unscrupulous actors and falling victim to them. So the ladies of the Book Lovers Club decided that they were going to start an institution that would be able to be a refuge to the ladies as they arrived, and they wanted to be near Union Station because that was the major means of transportation across the country at the time. So that's where the first Phyllis Wheatley Y was located. But then after World War I, there was the opportunity to finance a larger project, and they settled upon this location. And the first of the numerous Phyllis Wheatley YWCAs across the country was born here at the corner of 9th and Rhode Island. And I say the first of many because if you go on Google and you Google Phyllis Wheatley YWCA, you will see that this is not the only Phyllis Wheatley YWCA around the country, but if you do your research, you'll find out that it was the first one to have the association with this wonderful shiro of our past. I'm going to be going up to Boston next week, and one of the things that I'm going to be doing is going to the Boston Women's Memorial. And there is a life-size bronze sculpture of Phyllis Wheatley at that memorial. But really, I think that the Phyllis Wheatley YWCA here at Washington, D.C. is a far more important and significant tribute to the first published African-American author. This is a place that not only is important to our neighborhood and important to our city, but important to the nation. When I was working on the committee that selected the 200 most important African-American landmarks in Washington, D.C. as part of the D.C. Black Heritage Trail, I made sure that the Phyllis Wheatley Y was one of those 200. So you may not have noticed when you came in from the front door this morning that there is actually a marker that explains a little bit about the history about the Phyllis Wheatley Y, and there's a photograph from the past there. And also, if you've ever noticed, there's actually one of the 17 Shaw Heritage Trail signs right across the street on the northeast corner that has some wonderful photographs of the past. Of I believe there are some young ladies, ballet class, and other activities from the past of Phyllis Wheatley. But the history of this wonderful institution appears, in a great many resources and references. There's a book about U Street and Black history in Washington, D.C., and there's a photograph, a panoramic photograph taken of an event that took place in what was then the cafeteria of the building downstairs. But the photograph was taken on the lawn, and it was actually a photograph of a meeting of the NAACP that was held here. And Dr. Carter G. Woodson and many other notable historic figures are found there. So equally important to the history is a connection that some of us have the pleasure to engage in. Hopefully, every time that we have to mail a letter, whether it's a bill or a card to a relative, we now have the ability to put a postage stamp on our mail that honors Dr. Dorothy Irene Height, who was one of the key leaders of the Phyllis Wheatley YWCA in the past. So to the board, this is just another one of the major historic milestones in the wonderful work that you and your predecessors have been engaged in so importantly over the past century and a decade plus. So this is an institution that is also very important to our community. And I remember a number of occasions when the Phyllis Wheatley Y was the place where I was able to bring ladies that were being displaced from their housing in this neighborhood and had nowhere else to possibly go. This was the last refuge, the last resource, and Phyllis Wheatley YWCA welcomed them with open arms. So I was very excited to hear about the opportunity that was presented a few years ago to revitalize the Y and to bring it back to its past glory. Doesn't it look fantastic, folks? Yeah. So the ladies now are able to be more comfortable. Their rooms have more amenities. They have upgrades in a variety of the different features of the building, and I really do think that the building is well positioned to serve for another century in the many ways that it has been. It's important that a lot of people probably don't even realize that the Phyllis Wheatley YWCA provides a lot of different services, not just housing and not just supportive services to the ladies. And hopefully you'll have an opportunity to ask some of the team here about some of the other programs that are offered with great frequency. But the Phyllis Wheatley Y has been one of the places that I have as a regular stop when I give tours of the neighborhood's history for Walking Town DC. That's the program that Cultural Tourism DC conducts every September and October, and I'm so glad that the Phyllis Wheatley Y always welcomes everyone here to the parlors, so that we have a place to share the wonderful legacy of Phyllis Wheatley. So, Phyllis Wheatley YWCA is as Aretha Franklin would have said, a great or sang a great tribute to sisters doing it for themselves. And it's great to have another example of women working together collaboratively for their uplift and for the improvement of the neighborhood. The ladies over the years have been wonderful volunteers in so many different programs and activities throughout the community, have been volunteers for programs that the ANC and Civic Association have undertaken, as well as Shaw Main Streets. So they are an important part of our community, but more importantly, they They are our friends. They are our neighbors, and we treasure them and we love them. So thank you to Bua Benite and Dante's Partners for everything that you were able to do to be able to get us to this wonderful day, and for the other initiatives in terms of affordable housing, like the Hajj on 7th, that you've been integral in bringing to the Shaw community. Thank you to the board for your continued efforts, and I pledge to continue to work with you wherever possible to support all of your initiatives. Thank you to Mayor Bowser and the Bowser administration for their support of this project and affordable housing in our city. But most importantly, to the ladies of the Phyllis Wheatley Y, welcome back to your home. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Padra. So I guess you helped with the putting out the secret out there as to why we really wanted to do this deal so desperately. Was because we wanted to be around strong, Black, beautiful women who do it for themselves. So that was why. That's why I wanted to do it. There are so many words that one can use to describe Director Donaldson, and mine is passion. She lives and breathes her stuff. In addition to a knowledge of the industry and desire to succeed, is what makes dealing with her and her agency refreshingly delightful to work with. Ladies and gentlemen, Director Donaldson.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good. Is it good afternoon now? No, good morning still. Good morning. Not quite. Okay. All right, on the edge there. Thank you. First off, I just want to say thank you so much to the Phyllis Wheatley Y, to Ms. Plummer, the board, to all of you here. I know how momentous a day like this is. I used to run a nonprofit organization that did housing and services for our most vulnerable populations here in the district. I know the passion that comes with being a volunteer board member and being a staff member to make that happen, and what that takes to make that happen. So first off, I want to recognize all of you for your perseverance, your strength, and your conviction to make this happen. Thank you. And, of course, to the development team, of course, led by Dante's Partners and many familiar faces I see here in the audience as well. I'm delighted that this was something that was viewed as a win-win for many, and certainly for us at DHCD it is, because this was such a key, important project for preservation, but also for preservation in a neighborhood that is transforming and is changing, and where we need to be proactive and intentional about making sure that we are saying this is a neighborhood for residents who have been here for 5 generations, or 5 minutes, and anywhere in between. And I'm quoting our mayor when I say that, because she has been the visionary leader on this and has really worked towards this. And together with my colleague housing agencies, the Housing Authority, with Mr. Malone, and with, I believe Todd Lee was here from the DC Housing Finance Agency, we worked together to implement the mayor's vision on affordable housing production and preservation here in the district across all 8 wards in every neighborhood. And that is what we are working to do. So again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to recognize that as well. Obviously, Alex, you're very well versed in what the significance of the project is to this neighborhood, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention my colleague and friend Schroeder Stribling from N Street Village. They're providing the supportive services here, which is a critical component of making this kind of housing work. It's permanent supportive housing. It's important. They're a leader in our community in making it happen and doing it well. So let's recognize them as well. The mayor spoke very eloquently about trust, especially the trust fund, but trust also is involved in terms of the community relationships and the partnerships that make projects like this happen. And we at DHCD work very hard to make sure that we are implementing and working with our partners to help them implement and use our resources to steward those resources to the best ability to serve our most vulnerable populations as well. We've been very intentional about linking affordable housing to our the mayor's vision of ending homelessness by 2020. And let me be clear, this is exactly the kind of project that we do support and will continue to support in order to help achieve that. Because our job is to help develop the permanent housing, or to preserve the existing permanent housing that provides where the destination for where individuals and families who have the need for those supports, where they can go and where they can know they can stay, and where there are covenants that know that this housing will stay affordable, stay for its purpose for a very, very long time. And DHCD was proud to be able to contribute 9% tax credits, which, as many of you developers know, are the finest kind, and are very competitive. But we wanted to make sure that we invested them in this project to be able to achieve the mission and the goals. And just so you know, in our RFPs, in our request for proposals, we do prioritize projects such as these. We do give extra points to projects that are providing housing for the elderly and for seniors, for families and for the homeless. So, and to those located in parts of the cities that have become more and more expensive, we do assign priority points. That's intentionality of our policy to ensure that, again, wherever you are, and if you want to live in the city, that you can, if you want to stay in your neighborhood, that there are possibilities for doing that. And if you want to be in this vibrant, prosperous city, that can include all, that we can have an inclusive prosperity in that way. So I will conclude, because I know there's others on the program, but I just want to say that the other word of the day for me is bloom. June Housing Bloom. We're in the middle of celebrating all things housing in the month of June here with the Bowser administration. And tomorrow I invite you all to come to the Convention Center for our 9th annual Housing and Home Show Expo. It's going to be a great event. There will be many of you are actually going to be there as exhibitors or as part of the workshops that we'll be holding to learn all about resources for affordable housing in our city. So I invite you all to be there 10 a.m., 3 p.m. It's free at the Convention Center. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Yeah, I strongly encourage everyone to go to the Housing Bloom, because that's where I go to find my senior housing for when I become of age a couple of years from now. So, and it will be affordable. So it's definitely an event worth checking out. For some reason, my dream job to work at a housing authority in 2008 did not materialize. It was a very sad time for me, because I really wanted to work there, and you know, the main reason was because it's just a very creative agency to work at. In their arsenal of vast tools used to preserve and create housing, one of the tools that we are able to take advantage of for this particular project is the local rent subsidy program and the ACC factor fund, as well as monies that Housing Authority was very, very kind to give us in contributing to this project. And basically, what does that mean? It means that 100% of the rent in this building are subsidized. And it was a very weird moment for us when we took on this property and realized that we were awarded operating subsidy, because it meant that all the ladies who were paying rent in the building and were struggling to pay rent in the building at the time now no longer have to pay rent going forward in this building. So thanks a lot to the Housing Authority and to their great leadership for help making that happen. And my guy, my man, Mr. Merrick Malone, is here to tell us about more importantly, why I wasn't hired, and two, I'm joking. But also to talk to us about the Housing Authority and the instrumental support in making this project happen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
I hate to be set up. First of all, I think that what Phyllis Wheatley does is awesome. Having been raised by a strong African-American woman, being married to one, and having raised one myself, I know how important that is. And what you have done is incredible. What you do is incredible over these years. And we truly honor you and thank you for the opportunity to help invest in what is a great return on an investment. So, my hat's off. I think the interesting is I was sitting there thinking about it. I thought about the first time that first time I ever came to Washington, D.C., but brought to D.C. by that strong African-American woman who was married to the strong African-American male who was never intimidated by the strength of his wife. And I'm so old that I can tell you, we stayed at the Dunbar Hotel at 15th and U. My aunt took me by Phyllis Wheatley, this building, and the Whitelaw Hotel. I had no idea that one day I would be deputy mayor and come back and put housing in the Whitelaw Hotel. I was 7 years old. That's how old I am. But again, to now be here and watch after remembering walking past here is pretty remarkable. And we at DACD, we are really grateful for the DCHA. I used to run DACD. Excuse me. But it doesn't matter because it was a collaboration of agencies. And I think what Polly said is so true. You have to be intentional or you don't get this kind of project done. It doesn't happen without the intentionality. Because quite frankly, if left to the marketplace, this cannot happen. It can't. I always tell my team that there's no such thing as a market rate brick or an affordable brick. It's just the cost of bricks. And if the market is saying I'm going to pay $600,000 and you've got a person that can only afford $200,000, the intentionality comes from the cooperation. It comes from a mayor who is intentional about where she allocates her money. And, you hear people say all the time, I'm for affordable housing. Well, you have to look at where they allocate both their financial resources and their human resources to know that that is the truth. And if you look at this mayor and the team that she's put together, that is the truth. So you have to be intentional. And you have to work together. We work across agencies, which wasn't always the case. But in order for us to get things done like this, working with Housing Finance Agency, working with DACD, the mayor's office, wonderful, working with our banks, Amalgamated, and Wells Fargo. You can't get this done without being intentional and working with a number of people in a cooperative manner to go forward. And we were fortunate, to invest as DCHA. We have, as Bua said, put $1.5 million in replacement housing factor funds. And not only that, but I think more importantly, providing the operating subsidy so that, in fact, there is not a reason that anyone would have to pay rent on this particular piece. That's huge. And it's interesting. We at the agency love to be creative. We've done some things now because it's how do you take what you have as resources and leverage those resources? Because, well, if you look at HUD and some other places, they're not coming with the money. So how do you make up for that? And so I have to tell you, we have a really creative team. This was the first project that we've used local blended subsidy, where we've used that with our ACC and the local rent subsidy to blend it to be able to get to those numbers. This is the first one, and so now we're able to use that as a model for our subsequent pieces. And that's what we talk about, having to be creative. You're creative out of necessity to be creative. This was also the first project in the nation where we used PACE financing to have solar and green, and we use that first in the nation. This one right here. So we at the Housing Authority, we know we have to be creative. We just broke ground on a project where the Housing Authority, used EB5 financing on the market rate side of a mixed income neighborhood, first in the nation. First. So in order to get these kinds of things done, it is clearly intentional. It has to be intentional. And I was listening to some of the trials and tribulations. But that happens when you're trying to do affordable houses and affordable housing. And then finally, you have to have a developer who really has patience, has determination, has grit, and Dante's Partners has displayed that. I am old, and as I've watched them evolve, they make me really proud. And one of the great things about it, think about this great institution African American females, and this building was renovated, done by a person of color, a developer, a person of color. I love it. And my hat's off to you. So we're on to the next great thing. Again, we're trying to get these things done. And, I sit here, when this wall came down, our leader was Adrian Todman, who's now gone on to greater and bigger things as the president and CEO of NARO, which means she's the advocate for all public housing authorities across this nation. And that's where she is. But there's people in your staff that allow us to stand up here and acknowledge and be acknowledged. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our project manager on this, who was there from the beginning to the end, carried it forward, and we couldn't have done what we did without him and his leadership, and that's Alistair Smith. Alistair, stand up. Thank you. God bless you.
Yes, thanks, Alistair. And I know I drove you crazy, or we drove you crazy collectively, and Miss Andrea Powell too is in the building, and I know we definitely drive you crazy. But you've been extraordinarily patient with us, so we thank you for everything. So Carissa Stanley and her bank Amalgamated, came through in a clutch like Kevin Durant did the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, I know, I'm sorry, but or should we say she came through bigly? Before Carissa comes to the podium, it's something about relationships sitting down here that just reminded me about folks in this room whom I've called over the last 10 years. And they continually pick up our phone call and continually want to work with us. Mark Feinstein is clearly one of those individuals. Phil Gibbs and his entire team, Oscar and Hamill, are clearly one of those individuals. I mean, they built my very first project, 10 years ago. And Wells Fargo, $100 million later, they still pick up our phone calls. I don't know why. And it's 10 years in the making. And Lord knows we're not the easiest. I'm not the easiest of people to work with. But they continue to do that. I see Mr. Soto in the house. That's a wonder for me as to why he continues to pick up our phone calls, but he does. And again, these are relationships that go deep. Kia Witherspoon is one of those individuals. I know we're not 10 yet, but it feels like 10. At least I feel like it's 10 working with you. But you've done an amazing job. And that's just basically what it's about. And Carissa is clearly one of those folks who embody relationships that go deep. And when the opportunity came, I couldn't think of anyone else to call to help make this project come true, especially given the complexities involved. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Carissa Stanley, thank you very much.
So let me say, I'll take the Kevin Durant analogy any day. I want the money too, but I'll take the analogy. And then let me also say, one of the good things about coming to functions like this is that you get your history. So I didn't know half of the stuff that Commissioner Alex talked about. And also you, Merrick, you learn the history of the city, which we should all know living here, right? So as captured by everyone else this morning, it is such an honor to be back here to celebrate the completion of this space. For many, many reasons, this project is important to me, and also the bank is proud to have had a role in what we did here. I attended a conference earlier this week, and I don't know, was Dante's Partners there? I scratched my head because for those of us that were there, we know that Dante's Partners actually won an award, but one of the things that was said over and over again is that oftentimes we as financiers and developers and in the community too often talk about affordable housing in numbers, right? 500 units, $100,000, $100 million. And what we shouldn't let escape us is what those numbers truly mean when it comes to the impact on the community, right? Because those numbers translate into people, and as the mayor said, actual affordable housing for people that otherwise wouldn't have it. So that's something that I think is very, very important, and our bank also thinks is very, very important. And so for that reason and many more, I'm happy to be here, and thank you, Bua, for the relationship. I think we may be 10 years. I think we are. And I will always answer your phone calls because of projects like this. So I give a hand to you and also Ms. Plummer and the board, and it is truly, truly an honor, and congratulations to everything that you've accomplished.
Thank you. All right, so you're all witnesses. She says she will take my calls. You know, the other side of the transaction, you know, the thing we always talk about with affordable housing is, you know, particularly with you know, what makes us and my team special to work with is it's not always just numbers, it's not always just bricks and mortar. There's always a services component associated with every single thing that we do. And part of what makes this transaction especially special for me is the opportunity to get to work with N Street Village. Prior to this transaction, I had heard so much about them and desperately wanted to work with them. More importantly, I wanted to know how Ms. Stribling convinced Oprah Winfrey to donate $1 million to her organization. So you get a car, you all get a car. So forget about this project. Let's just talk about Oprah. Ms. Stribling, please. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I'm grateful to be here today. What a nice occasion this is. And we are really here, N Street Village is here honored to be riding on the wings of the board of the Phyllis Wheatley YWCA, who have had a rich and historic mission in our neighborhood for a long, long time. I've been at N Street Village since 2003. Our main location is not far from here, and so we have known many of the women who have come to N Street Village, have been a part of your housing and have been a part of living here and have felt an anchor and a home in this neighborhood for a long time, and that is enormously important and admirable. And then when you stretch the history back about Phyllis Wheatley herself and understand the underpinnings of the meaning of that story, it becomes even more meaningful and rich that the women that we want to serve have been able to have this resource. So I thank you, Ms. Plummer, the board of the YWCA. We are very grateful to be a part of this partnership. We at N Street Village, we provide housing and support services for women who are experiencing homelessness or who are low income, and we have 5 different locations through which we're doing that. And we were introduced to this project to renew and preserve the housing that's here and to BUA a number of years ago, and we knew that this was something that we wanted to contribute to. So our part here is in following the leadership of the board of the YWCA and of BUA and Dante's partners, and to come in and provide services which enable people who are housed here to remain stably housed here and to have the services that they need to make their housing a real home and to ensure their stability over the long term. Also, I want to recognize our other leaders in this, and Director Donaldson, who's been a longtime friend and colleague in this work, and Director Malone. I so appreciated your words as well. This is a time in our city when both intentionality and creativity and determination have been the absolute goals, and we as a provider in this community certainly feel that, and we're so grateful to be a part of it. I will note that inside what you were saying about this being the first of one of this type of creative projects, so this was a project that the consolidated RFP project, which worked so hard to bring in all the different types of resources that are needed to develop and preserve housing like this. And I think one of the things that it teaches us, which is different than 40 years ago with the founding of N Street Village, I certainly know, and different even than in prior decades is that it's not only that we do projects like this best when we work together, but I believe it's only when we work together that we are able to leverage this kind of resources and this kind of determination and sort of all lift each other up and all introduce the amount of resources that are really so important for making this work. Between business leaders, government leaders, the board of the YWCA, and providers like N Street Village. This is a really wonderful thing to be a part of, especially for us because our long-standing determination is to be in concert, in solidarity with women who are vulnerable in Washington, D.C., and who need housing and who need supports. We do not want to stop until we see that we are providing for every woman who is in crisis or who is in need. We provide everything from shelter through permanent housing for women. And I want to share with you one story in closing. I asked the permission of this wonderful woman whose name is Queenie. I asked her permission to share this story with you today. And she was grateful that I could share this story in a way that I think will have meaning to all of us and meaning hopefully that we take on out as we are champions of this to the broader world. Queenie is relatively new in our shelter, one of our shelters at N Street Village, and I met her in the first week that she was there, and I had a chance for a conversation in the hallway with her after dinner, and she became tearful. She's in her 50s, an African-American woman who has worked for our school system for her whole career, and she has an elegance about her, and as she spoke, she told me her story that she'd lived in D.C., that she had worked for the school system, that gradually over the years her rent became more and more expensive. Her income did not keep up with her rent. She used her savings until ultimately she could no longer do that. She was still working, and she had come to our shelter. And she said to me, as she got tearful, she said, I want you to understand that I am here and I'm having this experience, but this isn't me. And I so appreciated that comment, and I hope that everybody who is in that circumstance knows that it is not. There's an indignity that can happen when people experience this type of devastation and a crisis, and we ought to be a city, I believe, and I know everyone in this room is convinced of this, where we say, this isn't us, not in our city. We want to be able to provide for everyone who's in need and to be able to support our citizens who are supporting us. So I really thank you. We're grateful to be a part of this. To the board, to Ms. Holloway, and to Bua, what a pleasure to be a part of this with you.
Thank you. So, Corey Powell is everything that I am not. He's very patient, extremely calm, ridiculously smart, and devilishly handsome. I'm very grateful. To Corey for helping usher in this project true fruition. Corey and his team, Malcolm, Quinn, Renata, Dan, Raver, Adora, Brooke, Beverly, and obviously his lovely wife for letting him work late hours, have just been extraordinarily a pleasure to work with. And, and it goes unnoticed. So to help make affordable housing great again, ladies and gentlemen, is my dear friend, Corey Powell.
So what do I do with that introduction? So I'm usually someone usually gets the opportunity to come up here and thank all the folks that Bua may have missed, such that we can take those darts in the event that he missed anyone. So that's primarily what I want to do. But in sort of taking a step back and thinking about this event, sitting down and writing folks' names down, what you realize, and I think Carissa said it very well, is that all this work that we do is really about people. So first and foremost, I know there are some residents of the Phyllis Wheatley YWCA in the room. Can you just wave for us real quick? So I want to give you all a round of applause. So all this work is meaningless if we don't actually have great people in our buildings, and frankly, they have been the ones that have put up with the most over the last 18 months or so as we've been planning and moving people around and trying to get this actually constructed. So thank you again. Thank you, Bua, for thanking my better half. So I'm going to be selfish and thank you as well for putting up with me and and balancing things out when I'm spending a lot of time trying to make things happen for other people. So thank you very much. I also want to take some time to just mention some folks who may or may not be in the room, but again, sort of looking at this list, what you realize is these things don't get done unless there are people to build it for, and you've got a lot of people that you're sort of bridging and bonding with. So the other great thing is sort of looking out in this room and realizing that there are a lot of people that I wouldn't have otherwise encountered in my daily comings and goings that are very different than me, that I get the chance to learn from, but for this project and projects like this. So thank you all. So our good folks at Compass Design and Development, so Patrick Cooper and Rick Burks, who made sure that we had some good expertise when we were in the likes of, in the rooms dealing with the likes of Hamill Builders. So speaking of, so Phil Gibbs and his team, so I want to thank you, and Tom Wall, Mike Nemo, Rob Lesniewski, Jesse Wall, Oscar Masio, this guy, Roger Fitterman, and Tossin Dogan for actually bringing this project to fruition and getting it done and getting it built, and us having a lovely room to sit in today. The good folks at Miner Feinstein, so Mark Feinstein, Alan Miner, who didn't do any work. So I really want to thank Chris. Really want to thank Chris Henderson, who did all the work on this one. So thank you very much. Number of consultants, Kim Mitchell, who may or may not be here, but actually made sure we could legally construct this. So thank you, Kim. The folks from the ThinkBox Group, Darren Coates, Paul Rentas, and John Meacham. Premium Title, I see Ben Soto sitting here, so thank you for still taking our calls. Esther Blackwell, Kia Witherspoon, your name was mentioned. Thanks for driving us crazy, but making sure that we had a beautiful, beautiful building and not listening to us when we said no sometimes. Some rock star attorneys that we got an opportunity to work with, particularly Elizabeth Aaliyah, who I hope had a chance to make it, Aaron Rosenfeld and Debbie Ogazinski. Other consultants, Ike Singh, Delicia Gunn, Ronnie McGee, David Pernia, and Mamo Asefa. And then really the folks that gave us the money to build this. So DHCD, Director Donaldson and your team, I know a number of folks are in the room. I saw Chris Dickerson Prokop in the room. I see Vonda Orders. I saw Allison Ladd. I don't know if she's still here. I also want to thank our Rockstar project manager, who may or may not be here, Wanda Pope, for also being very patient with us and getting this over the finish line. Julia Wiley, Tiffany Jones, and Stephen Branham. The folks at the Housing Authority that were mentioned before. Thank you again, Alistair. Thank you again, Andrew Powell, for dealing with us and getting this done. Also, Ron McCoy, Carrie Smizer, Lori Putcher, Dartisha Myers, Horace Carrington, and Deborah Scott, and many, many others over there that we don't name. The folks at DHS, Dallas Williams and their director, Director Zillinger, DBH, Director Royster, Brandy Gladden, who may or may not be here. I see the folks from Urban Ingenuity in the room who were able to help us bring the creative PACE financing into place, which is why we're able to have solar panels on the building and a more efficient building. So thank you, Bracken and Ian, if you're here, and Apasana. Also Wells Fargo, I know you guys are here. So Chris McGraw and Kevin Hall, thank you guys for continuing again to answer our calls and signing documents with us for some crazy reason. And last but not least, again, the team at Dante's Partners and DP Management, who Boo already mentioned, but those guys are really the guys and gals are really the engine that make things go. So I see Quinn, Kofi again, who's moved on to bigger and better things. Maybe not better, bigger. I don't know if it gets better than this. Kofi, see Malcolm, Toby, who wasn't mentioned before, Rava, Adora, who's hiding out in the back, Brooke, Quincy. So thank you all for making it happen. And thank you all for being here and for listening to us. And I think I'm the thing standing between you all and eating. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you.
Just want to again, thank my my parents, they've been extremely supportive, allowed me to provide the opportunity for me to migrate to America so that I can live my dream, and I'm doing just that. Also, just want to thank all my friends who have been with me for a very long time. They're all here, always supportive, and it's a great day for me. I don't know what you guys are doing after this, but I'm doing absolutely nothing. But again, I can't thank everyone enough. It's been a wild ride, but also extremely fun, and really the thanks really just go to the Phyllis Wheatley YWCA Inc. because they entrusted a prize jewel with us, and we do not, and under no circumstances, we do not take that for granted at all, and we'll continue to cherish this like it's ours, such that it can be here for another 100+ years. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate the time.